Hi everyone, it's me, Elizabeth Sines, aka Fairy Woman, and we are on day 12 of the Fairies Guide to Being Human Magical Companion video series. It's chapter 12 in the book, because each one of these first 13 are the end of each chapter in the actual book, The Fairies Guide to Being Human. And once again, I've been urged by good friends to share more of my work and promote myself a little bit. So the Fairies Guide to Being Human is a book that has channeled information from the fairies, my own personal experiences, and these messages and action steps at the end of each chapter. And then the Magical Companion is a coloring book journal with all those 13 messages and action steps, as well as 30 more days. So this video series is following the Magical Companion, and you can still go to the landing page and get the free PDF of just the messages and action steps. It won't have the journal pages or the coloring pages, but at least we'll give you those basic things so you have it written out and can go back and look at them. The link for that will be below, as well as my website, which has the blog talking about that. I have a whole blog with fairy messages from over the years, and I still blog occasionally. I haven't done as much since I've been focusing on the video series, but there I do blog there. And I also have a store which has fairy messages that you can get, which is a fairy reading. You by email, you tell me the topic or question, and I reply with what I'm getting intuitively, as well as a message directly channeled by the fairies. So that's all on my website and linked below. And that's the shout out for this day. Let's get into it. Chapter 12, Fairy Message. Do not let fear make your choices. Many of you have been great at not allowing your own fear make your choices. But what about others? Are you making choices out of reaction to someone else? Are you making choices out of what you think someone else might do, say, or think? Are you trying to protect their feelings to protect yourself? Are you letting their fear and self-doubt masquerade as your own? These are habits you have learned over time. It is time to retrain your reflexes. Look to the motivators for your choices. When it is from a place of trying to make someone feel something, that is manipulation. If it is out of a pure place of generosity, love, or wanting to add magic to someone's existence, that is kindness. You need to act with kindness and compassion, including choosing this for yourself. Have patience with yourself, no matter other people's judgments. Find joy in each moment, no matter the pain you see. Align with the One, no matter how alone you feel. You are caught in a sea of feelings, and each wave crashes over you with great intensity. Allow the feeling to rise up and fall away without reacting. Feel them, express them, but do not make choice from them. Take the time to find the calm and choose from there. It's from the fairies. And in that, I like to use the phrase, choose to respond rather than react. And to respond means you give yourself that breath, that moment. Maybe it's a whole day, maybe it's just a quick moment to like tune in and feel your truth. What is the honest answer? What is the honest response? What is it that feels true to you? So many of us have been trained to be codependent, to take care of other people in a way that is not honest and from our own heart space. I'm not saying you can't care for people or do things to help them or do things that initially you don't want to do to help somebody else. If you want to choose to do that from kindness, that's great. But so often in that codependent relationship, there is this back and forth manipulation that happens where we do things because we are trying to make someone else feel something or someone else behave a certain way, or hoping that if we do something they'll reciprocate in a certain way. And when you're doing from that, that is a form of kind of unconscious manipulation. It isn't that you necessarily really consciously trying to make that happen, but that is not going to benefit you or anybody else, because then there's an expectation attached to it. And when you have that expectation, then they give you that chance to fail the expectation, and resentment builds, and so on and so forth. So it's just about being honest in yourself with your feelings and honest with other people. And I think when we hold that place of integrity, it allows other people to step into that place of integrity too, so they can be honest with themselves and their feelings. It isn't always pretty and nice, but it is very fulfilling and rewarding. And at least you feel clear. You don't have to carry any baggage forward with it. So there's a little bit on that. Action step. Now that you know where the joy is, find it and hold it. Hold on to that feeling of joy for 30 seconds every time you feel it. Sounds easy? Notice how or why you try to run from your feeling of joy. Notice what you allow to disturb it. Sit in the joy as long as you can. Tell your brain and the universe that you choose joy now. A friend of mine and I used to have this ongoing joke about our low tolerance for joy, because we noticed that to pick something that was just joyful, just for the sake of joy, felt so wrong. And you can get trained, especially if you grew up with abuse or things like that, that joy will make you a target, that joy is dangerous, that if you're joyful, something good happens. Maybe you're always waiting for the next shoe to fall, that whole thing. And really, it's our own space of that old trauma response of pushing away joy because it doesn't feel safe, that makes it so that we are lacking joy in our life. And the more that you can allow yourself to have the joy and sit in it and be in it and not try to push joy away and just allow yourself to be joyful, then it just will expand and multiply in your life. And there's also a thing in our society that someone's happy, then they're stupid or naive. That Pollyanna mentality. And, I find that really interesting, that it's somehow smart and beneficial to be, critical or depressed or look it's like you're smart if you don't just enjoy things. Somehow that makes you more mature. I don't know. I think that that's silly, because one of the best cards in the tarot deck is the Fool, and the Fool is the one who is following blindly God's faith. And the not saying to be completely unaware is always good either, but to have balance and to give yourself those moments of trusting, and give yourself those moments of to be vulnerable, to be brave enough to be vulnerable, to just be in the joy and not expect something bad to happen. That there's a strength and character in that. So I hope that you all can find some joy today and spend some time in joy with the fairy guide you met a few days back. Maybe touch in with them. Find the places that kind of bring you into that magical space, because it just helps expand and multiply the magic in your life. And I will see you tomorrow.